Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and welcome to The Fool's Apprentice. Oh my God, let me tell you, it was a night. I didn't get to go to bed until, gosh, what was it, around midnight? And I couldn't sleep. I was up at 3:30, so I took the opportunity to let the dogs out. And then I just fumbled around for a while, doing really nothing. I did things I didn't want to do, like change the batteries to my fire alarm, which had been beeping like forever. Everybody was telling me about it, but I didn't hear it. It became like background white noise for me. And then I cleaned up a few things around the office, put some books up on the shelves, and then watched a little bit of, what was it, Instagram, and then went back to bed at 4:30. And at 5:30, I was like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. So I got up, took a shower, and thought, since I messed up on Saturday for hashtag Saturday, because I didn't hit the record button, I was over it. I had some audio issues and I just completely got distracted with focusing on that. And so when it was all said and done, I hit record and it started recording, and I was like, not again. Oh, but I think that's going to be one of those things that happens to me from time to time. But today we're going to be doing a hashtag. It is a belated hashtag Saturday, and I went through this process of trying to figure out what I was going to name this hashtag. I ended up collecting 10 of my favorite autumn oracle decks. I've seen several tarot decks for fall, top 10 for autumn. And I thought, you know what, let me do some oracle decks. I love oracle decks. I think I have more oracle decks than I do tarot decks. I find them, I don't know, just so much easier to kind of work with because it allows me to use my intuition. A lot of them I will read the guidebooks because the guidebooks really provide me with a lot of information and the intent behind the cards that the creator had. And I get to incorporate that with my own personal knowledge of the words, how the images inspire me, how they work together. And I just love them. I just love Oracle decks. So I am going to do hashtag 10 autumn Oracle decks. Or, oh my God, here we go again. I did this the last time, trying to figure it out. Did I have hashtag autumn Oracle decks or hashtag my favorite autumn Oracle decks? I don't know what sounds better. What sounds better? Hashtag top autumn oracle decks. My favorite autumn oracle decks. Autumn oracle decks. Oh my God, it's a mess. What do I name it? Because I don't want a name that's too long, it just gets to be convoluted. Okay. You know what? Let it be a surprise. You will see it in the title. We'll see what I come up with. So let me flip the camera over and we'll get started. And I am back. So we're going to start with one that I really, really like, but it is so complicated sometimes. This is the Supra Oracle. This is I think, one of my oldest decks that I've had. The Supra is so beautiful. They have this wonderful, I love this book. I love, that it's a perfect square. They have a really good amount of information on each card. What I really like also is they have 4 keywords. And so when I pull a card, the actually this one has 5, but they all have 5. So they have 5, not 4. One of them will pop out to me based on what the reading is. So what I do is I pull a card, I look at all of the keywords to see if there's like a overarching theme that I can tap into. Then I'll read, and then I will pick a word or I'll have my own word. But this feels like a very intellectual, dense deck. I love the talk box. I haven't even broken the seal. You have to excuse me. I think allergies are starting to kick in. I love that it's colored on the inside. And look at this. It has this gold stamping that is really, really beautiful. I mean, they did a really, really good job with this one. But the cards, I love that they're like this cream and black. The images come across as very powerful. You know what? Let me zoom in. These cards are very, very powerful. Potential, perseverance. I love this image of a very rocky cliff and that life can still prosper regardless of the environment. Love that. Love that. I have no idea how to even pronounce this. These are interesting. I still don't really get these very well. If I get one, let me see. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, come on. You got to be in there somewhere. Oh, okay. Sacred geometry. Here we go. So let's see this one. Destiny. Oh, also, it gives you the keyword here, but not here. So, destiny. The whole story is here, gathered up inside of us. Bridges over great dark chasms of the soul are crossed, while storms of our heart endure. A singular path is found. Hardly asleep, hardly awake, we encounter in our dreams the one path that gently folds us. Spiritual lasting, becoming true salvation in life. I see this is one that you would have to actually read. And this is one of the few cards that has color, which is very interesting. While storms of our heart endured, a single path is found. So, you know, maybe the heart with the path, or the path that leads down, or maybe this pendulum kind of tells you where you need to go. Very interesting. Spirit, beautiful. And so here's another geometry card. Oh, no, it's this way. Oh, and I like the borders, and I really like how they go over. I think that's just really interesting. So I will pull this deck out, not for any particular reason, because, like I said, this deck is really, really intellectual. And, you know, there's a deck out there. Oh, it's theirs as well, that uses the oh my God, parad, par, periodic table. And so this feels like very, very scientist. Oh, that's beautiful. And so I will pull it out because I want to, not because it's going to fit a particular kind of reading, or I just feel like I've missed the card and want to play with it. Oh, I love this one. Okay, I'm so glad that this one came up. This is my favorite card. Isn't that interesting that of all these beautiful images, this is my favorite card? And I love it because it creates so much space that it allows your mind to just kind of find what needs to come up without being prompted. And then you got the elements, which I really like. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love it. So this is one that I will use, but not very often. I know I'm going 100 miles an hour, but I got 9 more decks to go. So that is the Supra. If you want an easy breezy deck that will give you very clear, concise, quick messages, this is not the deck for that. Not even close. So, oh, okay. the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I mean, it doesn't get more earthy than this, guys. This feels very, very much like a Pentacles deck. The guidebook is really small, but you get a small paragraph for each card, which is more than enough to utilize this deck. Now, this really allows your mind to work in a very broad way, like harmony. This can mean so many different things for different people. I love the colors. I love the borders. Influence. I just love the colors that she used. This is one card I do not like at all. I don't like it at all. You know, the bear with the fish. And so one of the things that happens is up here, they have different symbols, as you can see. And I love, again, this has beautiful keywords that I really like. Love the backs on this one. I have both of her decks. I think she has, oh, and I have her tarot deck as well. Reincarnation, and you see the little fetus right here. Looks like a brain, but it's actually probably a maze. Or maybe it is a brain with a spinal cord, or a tree. I will use this one when I actually have something that is really grounded in a pentacle kind of feel, things that are very earthy, materialistic, when I'm having to deal with people. This deck works really, really well for that. This deck feels like a safe place to go, which is one thing that I really like about this deck. So when I open it up, it feels very different from the Supra. When the Supra comes up, I feel very tight and rigid and very like I'm in class at school. Here, it feels like I'm at a friend's house, having a cup of coffee, having a very beautiful conversation with the person that I've allowed into my space being my life. And like Underworld, these are really, really, oh, destruction. I like that there is a balance. They're not all happy, kind of optimistic, positive keywords, but like potential. That's beautiful. Decay, the other side of beautiful. Support. Look at the face on this. Isn't that beautiful with the shadow? Very, very nice. Empathy. Oh, I love this card because as you can see, all these, look at all these colors, right? All these beautiful colors. However, anguish is void of color, and except for black and white and the grayscale in between, which when in anguish, you know, can feel like it's very dark and very stark and heavy. So this is the Illuminated Earth. Beautiful. Oh, and I love how it feels. It's a sturdy deck. It's not linen where you can just bend it and it'll pop back. This is a card that will actually, like, you will create a crease. But I love the buttery feel. I love that it's matte. So there's a little bit of gloss, but not anything that's going to be distracting. I think she did that so that the colors would pop. So that's the Illuminated art. And this box is really, really nice. I love this box. Okay, next are two decks that I love using. So I'm going to pull back. They are the Mysteries of Mary and the Mysteries of the Black Madonna Tarot deck. Love these decks. So I ended up getting the Mysteries of Mary first because I wanted a deck that allowed me to tap in to working with Mary. You know, the Virgen de Guadalupe was a big, you know, spiritual entity in my life growing up. Her and St. Jude. And I had really pulled away from the Catholic Church and its teachings because being a gay man, I was going to go to hell. At least that's what I've been told over and over again. And little by little, all of a sudden, some of my belief systems from my childhood started coming into my spirituality, which I found very fascinating. And at first, I didn't want it to come up. I had converted to Buddhism, which worked really, really well for me. And then somewhere around year 4 or 5 of converting, all of a sudden, St. Jude and the Virgin Mary started to kind of show up in my spirituality. When I would sit and meditate, they would just show up in my mind and in my heart. And at first I was very resistant because, I had built such animosity and I had really been hurt by the Catholic Church. And I wouldn't say that, to be honest, I was quite terrorized as a child because of it. But then I was really thinking about, well, if it's coming up, there's a reason for it. There is a reason why she keeps coming up in my mind with St. Jude. And I decided to open myself up. And in doing so, I felt that I could use a deck that could help me in bridging my Buddhist beliefs with my Catholic beliefs. And when I saw this deck, I just knew that I had to have it. I just knew it. It's not a cheap deck. By far, it's one of the most expensive decks that you can buy that is not out of print, and it's its regular price. It's, I think, like $180. I know, that's a lot. But for me, it was worth it. Now, what she's done is she's traveled to different countries, different regions, and researched the Virgin Mary. And in learning about her in each and every area, she built these. Oh my God, what do you call these? These, oh, they're not shrines. Is it a shrine? Oh, oh my God. It left my mind. I cannot believe that it left my mind. She signs the book. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to remember what she calls these. I think they're little shrines. So that's what we're going to call them. And she created 78 of them, which is amazing to me. And she actually incorporates some of the things that are in the stories that she's learned. So like this one, I am sure there is a story that deals with the tree, eggs, and probably death. And this one probably deals with some oceans and some flowers, because all of that. So, but, oh, this is beautiful. I love this. This is one of my favorites. This is an image that I grew up with. So, in December, the first December I had this, I did this. I pulled a card every morning of this. I read the book and I sat and meditated with it. It's a tarot deck, but I use it as an oracle deck because it's too much information and too dense. So here she will tell you. Let's pull another one. Okay. She will tell you like what it is, a little synopsis from a proverb or something, and then she tells you about her journey with the card, a little bit about the area with some of them, and the tradition behind that Mary. The following year, I decided to get The Mysteries of the Black Madonna. Isn't this a beautiful cover? I love it. Here again, she does the same thing. I mean, this is a lot of research, a lot of information. In fact, she takes these shrines and she goes to, and she will show them at art galleries. You get a beautiful velvet bag with this one, and the lining inside of it is beautiful. Look at this lining. Isn't that stunning? I love it. And of course, it's a drawstring. Look at the backs. Aren't these beautiful? I love these. Um, and so you get a card and then a stamp. So I love these images. I didn't know a lot about the Black Madonna when I got this. It's another version of the Virgin Mary. And I just was really, really drawn to the images when I saw these. And since my practice with the Mysteries of Mary went so well and I loved it so much that I thought I'd give this a try. Again, pretty expensive. But I found that I enjoyed working with this deck a little bit more, which I found very, very interesting. But same concept. She traveled, she gathered some information, she researched, she came home, and she created these shrines. Isn't that stunning? Look at that. And I did the same thing. I pulled a card every day for a month. And I do this in December. And this is something, because for some reason, that is a month that I really, really want to tap in and go all in spiritually. So this year, I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm either going to alternate days so I could use them both, pick one day and another, one from one deck and one from another, or I am going to do like 2 weeks with one, 2 weeks with another, or alternate weeks with them. I'm not really sure yet, but when December gets here, I'll know. Okay, I love this one, guys. Into the Lonely Woods is such a stunning, comfortable, warm, and loving oracle deck. If you don't have this, I highly recommend getting it. This is very much an autumn deck. And it has a book. And I don't know if all of y'all know that, but it has a book. Isn't that beautiful? And what I like about this book is that the images are so much larger. And so what I'll do with this book is I will flip, 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 and then that's my pull for the day. And this one says, we sculpt our lives until its shape is familiar, and we create patterns and stories and rituals around these shapes, all of which make the beautiful moments of our days. Our life is a whole world, and yet sometimes that world, through no decisions we have made, comes to its ending, and all the once we soon be the past. Every living being is in flux. Take a moment to look up what once was, to honor it and say goodbye, then stumble into the mysterious unknown which holds what will become the beautiful future. Isn't that beautiful? And look at these images. Look how bright and vibrant they are, and you could see so much detail. Look at that. And I love the color choices. This is a beautiful green. I love that color. That could actually be a wall in my house. Very, very earthy as well. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? So that's how I use this book. It's a hardcover book. Very nice. Look at this full. This is very, very well done. This came out in 2022. Look at this. You could cut this out and frame it. It is so beautiful. Oh, I could go through this book forever. So now the deck. One thing I do not like about this box is that you can hear the cards. It's because it's the cards aren't set to fit because they did it for the book to fit. It's the book that they sized the box for. Frankly, I think that this information could have been made the size of the card. But I know some people would love the larger book. I don't, because of the box. You get a lot of information in this. You get a black and white on cream paper and an entry. It's very beautiful. So, oh my God, let's get to the cards. I love how the size of them. They're pretty large. Does it tell me how big they are? They do not. Oh, these are one of my favorite backs of all time, to include the Botan Tarot. Oh my God, those backs are stunning as well. But I just think these are so beautiful. And I love the images. The images feel very comforting. Hope is like a hummingbird. Our shadows are beautiful. The constellations of isolation. Really, really nice. This is a deck that it feels like a healing deck. If you're dealing with grief, the death of someone, the death of a pet, an end of a relationship, losing something of sentimental value, I feel like this deck is a hug, like, you know, when your mom used to hold you when you were crying and you were upset, and it just made you feel better to be there, and it was okay to feel your pain, knowing that you were safe. That's what this feels like. I love the images. I think they're very, very creative. There are others like you, so you're not alone. The communion of a tender souls. I mean, oh, your little island. These images are so pretty. They're nice to look at. And I've done that. I've just taken it out to look at the images just because I just think, you know, decks are like artwork. People really, really have beautiful imaginations and amazing skill. Ebbs and flows. I love that. So this is a deck that this is a wonderful deck for a rainy day. So that's Into the Lonely Woods. We'll be using this quite a bit. Now, next is a deck that I haven't really gotten to use very much, the Oracle of Eden. This is a deck, I brought it out because one, I love the packaging. It is top notch. Two, it's stunning to look at. I like the keywords as well. I think keywords are very important in an Oracle deck, that they resonate with you. And it's a deck that I want to use this fall more and really have a lot of intention in getting to know the deck. But look at how it opens up. It is, oh my God, that is so regal. I love it. And this velvet or suede is like, oh, a copper brown. It's beautiful. Then you got two ribbons, one for the book. The book is nice and soft. It's hardcover. And the images are in full color. This is an extremely well done deck. Very beautiful. And what I love is if I'm in a crunch with time, all I need is this meditation right here, and I'm done. That gives me enough. Then you got the other ribbon that pulls the deck out, and the suede goes all the way inside, which is really beautiful. And what I like is you have an inset for the book and then another one for the deck. Isn't that, I'm sorry, Ghost, but that's pretty badass. The cards, okay, so you got the symbols on the box. So she tells you about all the symbols on the box, which I thought was pretty cool. But look at these images. Oh my God, aren't they stunning? I'm trying to make sure I don't get a reflection. of the Light. Balance, intimacy, joy. Oh, look at that. Love, the representation of different types of people. Self-care, evolve. Oh my God, look at this little girl. I love it. To be inspired. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I love this. Pride. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I'm mistaken, this is the transgender flag. I love that. That is absolutely beautiful. Nurture. And I initially bought this because I really just like the images. And I've used it a couple of times and found this deck to really, really tap into my soul. It really allows me to get very, very grounded into the best parts of who I am as a human being. I love the tenderness of the images and the support and care of the images. It's just a really, oh, look at this patience. I love this. Oh, create with the LGBT flag. At least I'm assuming it's the LGBT flag. I love that there's Asian representation. How often do you see that? Vulnerability. I love that you have this very strong exterior woman. And here it talks about vulnerability, where she takes off her helmet. She doesn't have her armor on. She puts everything down and she is who she is and allows you to see who she is, which is very, very nice. So, wisdom. I love the colors in this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Trust. Trust. I trust you with my life. So, empower, explore, forgiveness. These are beautiful. Unity. Very, very, very beautiful deck. Oh, and look at the gilding. Isn't that beautiful? This is really, really well done. I find it interesting that it is glossy, as you could see, but then the backs are matte. Isn't that interesting? So that is, let's get it in there. Love Oracle of Eden. Oh. I have another deck of hers. And the African Tarot, I think it is. Then I got two Old Faithfuls that I like to use together. The Priestess of Light Oracle and the Mythical Shaman Oracle deck. I love these decks. These are some of my early purchases. The Priestess of Light Oracle. You know, I like to have decks that have a really good balance of male and female energy. I hate the backs. Hate them. But this deck, the images, I love the coloring, which gives it a feel of masculinity that I think is just enough for me. But every image has a woman in it, that if there's people in it. I like that there is more than one keyword at the bottom. You got the main word, and then you have some additional words. I like that the colors are saturated on some of these. Divine Masculine, very nice. Setting boundaries, threshold protection, and honor. A lot of animal energy. If you like to use animals, spirit animals, this is a perfect deck for you. If you want to tap into goddesses, I think this is great. I like that they have numbers. So if you're into numerology, you can use the numbers as well. But this is how do I want to describe this deck? This is I pulled this deck when It's, gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this deck for myself. Um, a lot of it has to do with the animals, because I think this is the only one that has Oracle decks that has a lot of animals that I use. It's the combination of that and the female energy that comes through it. Um, this is one of the few cards that doesn't have that real punch of energy. It's very sweet and calm. Clairvoyance, very beautiful. Love it. Divine Mother, inspired by the Virgin Mary. Oh, look at that. Stunning. Very the Strength card. Death and Rebirth, Darkness to Light. I just love it. This is another one that I will use randomly just because I want to, not because there's something specific that I want to use it with. The book is pretty thick. Gives you, there's affirmations in it. You get a lot. Oh, they have, spreads, friendships, numbers. So it's easy to find them because they're numerology. Oh my gosh. Numeric order. Okay. Mythical Shaman Oracle deck. I really, really like this. This feels very mysterious. That's the word. Feels very mysterious. Again, with the numerology, the colors here are very beautiful. These backs I like much better. Buttery. These will bend. They will bend. You will create a crease. The hummingbird. Time it. And I like that you have archetypes in here. You got animals in here. The mystical shaman. The ancient ones. Which is really, really, really nice. Like, I think this is a really great deck to do ancestry work, if you do ancestry work. Oh, that is so beautiful. I don't like the eyes on this one. I use this one quite a bit. And it's because I like how easy the message comes across for me when I read it. When I read with it. The hunter, the medicine wheel, the element, the sun. I mean, this is pretty good, right? Love it. The child, the crow. So lots of great images and places where you could jump off and work from. The Mythical Shaman. And they're on Amazon for a very, very reasonable price. So I say give it a shot. And if it doesn't work for you, it is Amazon. You can return it. Oh, okay. Oh, this guidebook is ridiculously huge. Ridiculously huge. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Where am I gonna, save this book? I have to keep it separate. That's way too big. I hate the guidebook that it's that big. And like, does the text have to be this big? Really? I mean, there's a lot of great information in here. They have affirmations, astrological associations, crystal herbals. So there's a lot of information here that you can use. I don't use a lot of these, to be honest. This could have been so much smaller. But I had this. This is from Etsy. And I had this in my cart. I'd say for about 8 or 9 months before I pulled the trigger. What really drew me to this deck is the image on this box. I think it's stunning. I love the font. I think the font is great. I love the colors. I love the hues and the tones. And so I thought, you know what? Let 72 cards. Come on. How often do you see that? It's a collage deck. Love the backs. Love the backs. But oh my God, this has a 1970s kind of feel for me. I love that feeling. Portal. Oh, that's stunning, right? It feels like my camera went darker for some reason. Spring with a rabbit. Adapt. The snake. But these images are so striking, and there's so much within each one that you cannot not be able to use this deck and not find a meaning, multiple meanings. Like there is so much information that you can draw from, and the images are so starkly different, but they work together extremely well. I have some favorite cards and I have cards I don't like. But because of the art style, that's what makes this particular deck work the way it does. That looks really nice together. But then look how drastic that is, but it still works well. Look at that. Still works well. I like the font. It has the numbers there. Look how different that is. Still very beautiful. Look at that. Love it. Love it. So this one, I want to use it when I am in a quirky place or a place where I feel silly or I have just an abundance of energy and I'm in a super good mood and life is beautiful and everything is great and the sun is out. That's when I use this deck because it's a fun deck to use because there is so much in it. This is one of my favorite. There are several cards that are I love. This is definitely one of them. Love it. So that is the Begin Oracle. Simple box, nothing special. Fits beautifully. I don't like this box because it opens up too easily and I've dropped it when I picked it up. Cards go everywhere. I hate that. Okay. My favorite Oracle deck. My favorite Oracle deck is When Olga Speaks. I love this deck. Again, this deck reminds me of my childhood in the sense of how it feels very 1970s. For me, the creator ended up creating this deck as an homage to her grandmother, Olga. She's in some of these images. Now, she had started a Kickstarter that was not successful and was going to, as the deck went around on TarotTube, more and more people really wanted it. So she was going to do a Kickstarter last October. It didn't happen, and my understanding is because she was in grad school. And let me tell you, if you're in grad school, it's hard to do anything else. Then it was supposed to get reprinted in the summer or go on Kickstarter, and that didn't happen. And I don't have an update as of now for this deck, but I think the images are very powerful. She clipped these from magazines. I think from Time magazine, if I'm not mistaken, from a different couple of decades. I like the keywords. This deck has one of my favorite cards of all time. Hopefully it'll come up. Well, it's going to come up because I'm going to look for it. This collage deck is absolutely beautiful. Exposed. Very nice. And there are different... Oh, here is my favorite card. I do grief work with my clients. And I love this idea of ambiguous grief. A grief that you can't really define or pinpoint. It's just that's in the shadows. I just love it. And I've never heard of ambiguous grief before until this deck. But I think it makes a lot of sense. Uh, this is not, I don't know what this cardstock is. It shuffles well at a bend. It feels buttery, but I don't have a clue what this cardstock is. It has a semi-gloss, really light, but it feels like a matte finish. I love using this with a spoiler tarot. That is my favorite pairing of all time. This and the spoiler tarot. Very, very beautiful. And so she has, now this doesn't have a guidebook, but I think it's 7 different sections to this deck, and they're color coordinated. I'm hoping, because she was going to make a guidebook with the Kickstarter, I am hoping that she does do the Kickstarter because she's supposed to have a book. I would love the book for this one. Okay, let me turn the camera around and I'll have some parting words. And I am back. Well, oh my God, I love my Oracle decks a lot. I'm really excited about being able to use them. The thing with having so many decks is it's really hard for me to really dive in deep and use them all. Because if I'm going to dive in deep with the deck, then that's going to take up a lot of time for me. And that means I'm going to have less time with other decks. So that's the really big challenge of having so many decks that you really like, is trying to figure out a balance of being able to use them where you can really develop a relationship and get to know the deck so that you know where it fits. As you saw, I think it was the Priestess of Light. I kind of really struggled to kind of define where it fits. And even though I've used it, don't really have a good sense of where I can use this deck. I just like using it because it's a beautiful deck and I get good messages, but it's not because I'm using it for a specific reason or not. And so it's just trying to find that balance. I think the way I can use more of them is do my morning practice and then do a pull in the evening, which I've done before and I actually like that practice. I hope you like this video. We'll find out what the hashtag is when I post it. Until next time, my name is Benny and I am the Fool's Apprentice. Have a great day, guys. Bye.